recording, hit that to stop.
family members, friends, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2010. I am honored to stand before you as your principal to share a few words at one of the most important milestones in your life. I'm humbled by this task, and as I contemplated what I would say, I decided to share with you 10 things that I wish someone had told me before I went to college. How many of you, I was the first member of my college and in my family to go to college and graduate. How many of you graduates will join me in that club? Oh my goodness, I guess I made the right choice too. It's okay. Okay, I had the right inspiration. I'm serious. From the bottom of my heart, here are the 10 things that I wish I had known, that I had to learn the hard way as I learned how to jump through the hoops. And I ask you to, seriously, if there's anything I can share with you, to really listen and take to heart. Number 1, yes, you can go to college. No excuses. Complete your FAFSA, and it needs to be completed every single year. It's not just once before you go to college. It has to be renewed every year, or your scholarships and financial aids will not come through. Continue to search for scholarships. They're not only available before you go to college. They're available while you're in college, new ones. Continue to search for scholarships. If you're like me and poor, you need to remember, you need to take a look at what your real needs are. You're most likely going to need to work. Do not work more than 20 hours per week. You don't need a car. If you don't have a car, you don't need to work more than 20 hours a week. Oh, the adults are all. Okay. Let's remember what our needs are. Ride a bike. I personally will not ride a bike now because I lived on a bike. And if your parents are about my age, you remember when grocery sacks were paper. I remember riding down Grant Road with the paper grocery sack, and one of the few days it rained in Tucson. You can imagine what happened. I left my bike behind, and I won't get on another. You don't need a $300 cell phone. Focus on your true needs, and you can afford to go to college. Number 2, it's okay if you're not sure what to study or what you'll be. It is okay. The first 2 years in college are mostly focused on basic classes that are prerequisites for many different majors. There are options out there that you have no dream about. It's okay if you're not settled on what you're going to do. Don't stress about it. In fact, you have so many options, but there are many job opportunities available to you that are not even invented yet. I remember several years ago, my colleague who taught math came up to me after school one day and said, you know, there's this little company called eBay. You know, if I had money to invest, I would invest in that company. He goes, I know you're putting away all of your paychecks for your children's education. You need to check out eBay. I was too busy. Many things are there that you don't even know about yet. And really listen to this one. For every 1 hour you spend in class, you should average 3 hours outside of class. Homework, studying, projects, whatever. I'm not kidding. It's a 1-to-3 ratio. For every 1 hour in class, you should be averaging 3 hours. So the biggest misconception that I've seen with my own children, they get their college schedule out there and they come home and look, there's a lot of free time. And I put my arm around them and said, let's go sit at the kitchen table. And And let's schedule in the study time using that ratio. You know what? They're up at 6 and going to bed about 11. Okay? I can't emphasize enough to schedule your study time in. And not just study time, which subjects will you be studying? But to get that schedule out for yourself, because otherwise you will fall into the trap that many students do, that you have all this free time, and then all of a sudden your first midterm comes around. And you're burning the midnight oil. And it's too late. 1 to 3. Next, sit up front. I know it's not cool, but that's where the smartest people sit. Smart people tend to clump together. Get acquainted. Sit up front. Get acquainted with them. Start a study group. Meet with them once per week to review notes. Go over things. Don't get faked out by the guy who sits in the back that brags he never goes to class. He reads a book and shows up for the exams. That guy drops out midway through. You will find the college lecture halls get smaller and smaller every month. The people to listen to are on the front row, and you belong right there with them. Number 5, and if this is anything that characterizes an important lesson I learned, is go to your professors when you need help. Let's face it, do not be intimidated by them. You are paying their salary. And if you haven't been watching in the newspapers of what's been happening with the tuition hikes, make no mistake, you are paying their salaries. The state of Arizona is paying less and less of them. Get your money's worth. You do not look stupid by asking questions. That's another big misconception students have. In fact, the opposite is true. I want to share with you a very important example from my life. The most difficult course I ever took was called physical chemistry. It doesn't sound too difficult, does it? It is a backbreaker. It's better known as PChem. In fact, it is so universally known for its difficulty nationwide that they've made a bumper sticker. Honk if you pass PChem. I'm not kidding. Those of us who have taken it, we all have a special bond that no words need to be said. Well, I was taking PChem. And I will never forget when I realized I was buried and I needed help. I had to go to the professor. So I did. I got the gumption up and I went into Dr. Bevy Polly's office. He had thick, dark, wavy hair that he combed straight up, and it looked like he wore a turban with his own hair. He was East Indian and spoke with a thick British Indian accent. Can you picture him? I had so many questions. When he realized that I would be there a while, he offered me some jasmine tea. I'm not kidding. When we finished, I apologized to him for taking so much of his time, and he graciously said there was no need to thank him. He said that I and only one other student ever come to him for help. And he said most of the students need to come in for help. During the semester, I met with Dr. Benny Polly almost every week. And he was gracious and worked with me and always thanked me for coming in. I watched the lecture hall dwindle to fewer and fewer students. I finished that semester successfully, while students much more intelligent than I dropped out. What was the most important life lesson I learned here? Go to others for help. You look intelligent by asking a question. In fact, intelligent people ask the best questions. That's what it's all about. Number 6, make as many connections as you can with students and professors. Don't be shy. The world will pass you by. I figured that out as a junior. I'm by nature a very shy person. Almost every college major has an academic club. Join it. You will not only make good connections with your colleagues, but you will also get inside information that will help you be successful. Not only in school, but in attaining internships and jobs. Very important. Number 7, whatever happens, take responsibility. By taking responsibility, you will view the world in a different light. What some see as, why did this happen to me? You will see as, well, it happened. What options do I have now? Or, what options can I create? What some see as bad luck, you will see as opportunity. When others wait for life to give them a chance, you will be making your dreams come true. It is up to you to go where you want to go. Number 8, this is going to be something that's not very intuitive. The smartest people do not always graduate. Those who stick with it graduate. When you feel overwhelmed, and you will. When you get demoralized, and you will, persevere. Never underestimate yourself. People who have done great things tend to seem as if they were a race apart from us. However, most bibliographies only exaggerate this illusion. The author knows how the story ends and often streamlines the plot till it seems like this person's life was fate. In fact, I suspect that if you had the 16-year-old Shakespeare or Einstein in your school with you, they'd seem impressive, but not totally unlike you and your other friends. This is an uncomfortable thought, isn't it? If they were just like us, then they had to do some work very hard to do what they did that was so special. And that's one reason why we like to believe in genius. It gives us an excuse for being lazy. If these guys are able to do what they did only because of some magic Shakespeareness or Einsteinness, then it's not our fault if we can't do something well. I'm not saying there is no such thing as genius, but if you're trying to choose between two theories, and one gives you an excuse for being lazy, the other is probably right. Number 9, never, ever give up. I ran track in college. There were many times when I wanted to give up, particularly when I was injured, and I was injured often. However, I made a promise to myself that I would never quit when times were hard because my thoughts were not always clear during those times. I would only quit when things were okay. At those times, I could rely on my judgment. To this day, I continue to keep that promise to myself. It has served me well and has become a guiding principle in all aspects of my life. Do you know why you don't see faces much happier than the people winning gold medals? You know what that look is that you see on their face? It's relief. Finally, one last thing before I conclude, a word of advice for my children, one of whom just graduated from the U of A with his Fulton, and 2 others that are still at the U of A. Turn off your cell phone and don't check out Facebook during class. There is nothing that signifies a freshman more than that. And your cell phone goes off, your professor can and will kick you out of class for good. For good. These are 10 things that I wish I had known and understood from the beginning. And had I would have, college would have been not as much of a struggle. but I'm thankful that I've learned them, I pass them on to my children, and I pass them on to whomever I can. Since I have my soapbox, you got it. So I'm going to end with something you hear from me every day at the end of my announcements. I'm getting the smiles. Give yourself a great college education or not. The choice is yours.
Question. Can you guys move down in the light so we can take pictures?
Thank you.
We can't see you.
Baltazar.
Just stay here.
Stay there.
Autumn Linky. Taylor Potter. Sarah Spafford. And last but not least, Mario Lopez. Graduating class of 2010, would you please rise? I, Teresa Potter,